It's one thing to have the zeal, it's one thing to have the passion. Not being given the opportunity, I disagree. You will find the opportunity. You will position yourself to ensure that you get the opportunity. It may not be the opportunity you want at the time that you want it, but I assure you that you do have an opportunity. You just need to ensure that you're doing your best at every point in time, such that when the opportunity you truly want opens up, everybody around you can identify that you are a good fit for that opportunity. Okay, so my name is Ufuoma Ogeleka. I just wanted to correct the pronunciation on that. Honestly, I will not be giving a talk. We will be conversing. I have sat in the midst of everyone, and I have realized that we're very intelligent people in the room. I doubt that I would say anything we haven't heard before, or anything we haven't stumbled across one time or the other. So pretty much we'll be conversing, we'll be putting things in perspective together. I would like that you permit me to start from the reverse. I know that everybody who's come up here has given their talks and then we asked questions, right? So I'd like that we start from the reverse. And I will take lead, if you permit, with a couple of questions that stood out for me from the other speakers, from different people in the group. The first one was from that angle, I believe. It was about having the zeal, having the passion, but not being given the opportunity. I can't recall who asked the question in particular, but I know it was from that angle. Yes, it was you. And what I would like to say is, it's one thing to have the zeal, it's one thing to have the passion. Not being given the opportunity, I disagree. You will find the opportunity. You will position yourself to ensure that you get the opportunity. It may not be the opportunity you want at the time that you want it, but I assure you that you do have an opportunity. You just need to ensure that you're doing your best at every point in time, such that when the opportunity you truly want opens up, everybody around you can identify that you are a good fit for that opportunity. I hope that helps. There was another question. Or was it a statement? I can't recall. I believe it was from the man with the very dark glasses. It was different goals. You don't necessarily want to trend. I agree, and I'm a living testimony to that. Again is, what do you want to do? What is your goal? Not everybody needs to trend. I doubt that any of you would have seen me on social media. If you go to my LinkedIn page, I was laughing when you were saying, brand yourself on LinkedIn. I typically am on LinkedIn so I can monitor my brands. I don't think I've ever posted. And that's not to say that it is a bad thing. It is just to say that I understand who I am as a person, and I have separated that from who my businesses should be in terms of their persona. So again, aligning with you, you don't necessarily have to do everything on social media, but it stems from understanding who you are and what it is that you want to do. There was another question about values. I believe it was you as well. And, I mean, the mentor had said tons of things. And truthfully, yes, it stems from the family. But again, it goes back to self-awareness. Who are you as a person? If you have identified your person as a dishonest person, honestly, there's no amount of training, of monitoring that would change that. So it starts with you as a person, yourself. Who are you? Do you have values? Do you live by your values? And then everybody around you begins to tap from what you do. So again, it goes back to you. Growth without the digital space. I believe it was from someone at the back, referring to... So I'm a brand person. I'm very conscious about not mentioning brand names or people names. But it was from someone at the back. And what I would say is, in those days, there was no social media like we have it today. And even with today's social media, one thing that transcends time and space is expertise. whatever it is that you are doing, just be good at it and it will sell itself. I have worked with tons of brands that everybody here would be familiar with, but I doubt that anybody here knows me as a person. And in the growth, in my career trajectory, it has always been, I want the person who worked on that brand, get her for me. They don't necessarily know my name, but then they see the work. So what I would say is, just focus on being the best at whatever it is you have decided to do, and just stick at it and do it. Family business, I believe, was the next one. My question is, what is each person bringing to the table? You would run businesses with partners that are not related to you by blood, and they will still cheat you. You will run businesses with partners that are related to you by blood, and they will still cheat you. So the advice is, ensure it is structured, whatever it is you want to do, but let's be clear, what is each person bringing to the table? I think that has to be very, very clear. And what I had planned to discuss today was the power of self-awareness in the journey to starting afresh, which pretty much ties into a lot of other things that has been discussed. For me I do not think that we would be talking about a fresh start if there was no I, or me, or you, or us. It's important to have the right energy. You may not understand it, but if you talk low, chances are you will act and deliver low. If you talk high, chances are it translates into what it is that you do, and your results will be high. And then the people around you will tap from that highness. And you can be rest assured that you will always be the source for them when they want to have that high tempo. Are we good? Yes. We're getting there. Okay, so for me, as I was saying, it's important to understand our role individually in our journey to starting afresh. And that is why self-awareness is important. So let me just ask, and who has the mics? Can I just ask questions? Okay, we're good. What is self-awareness to us? What does it mean to you? What does the concept mean to you? Self-awareness? I'm all ears. Don't worry, I can hear you.
It's more about understanding who you are in terms of your strengths, your weaknesses, and possibly you want to understand the opportunities that avail you, and then the kind of environment in which you are playing.
Awesome. Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
For me, I think self-awareness is knowing me, knowing what I can do, knowing how much I can go. Because I don't think I have a limit. I don't even have. There's nothing. I don't have. All I want to, if I want this, I'll do it. I'll get there. So it's that is self-awareness. I don't just see that this person is big. Oh, I can be big. I will be big. So all I have to do is just do the needful. So that is self-awareness. Knowing my strengths, knowing what I can do, knowing myself. That is what me as their self-awareness.
Very correct. You both are very correct. Does anybody have? You had your hands up, right? Yes. Now I recall.
Right. To me, self-awareness is what I want to represent, what I want people to perceive of me, how I want people to see me, or if I just appear, what I represent, or what I mean to them. That is my what I am to people, what they perceive of me. I don't know whether you are getting my point.
I am getting your point.
Yes. How I want people to see me each time I appear.
Awesome.
Or my product appear. How I want them to see it. That the quality, the quantity, what it speaks to people.
Okay, so she's taking it to a different dimension. She's taking it from the person to the persona of her business or her brand or her product, which is awesome. You were right on. Someone else, you had your hands up? Yes, please.
So I feel self-awareness is having conscious knowledge of myself.
Very, very, very clear. Just one more, and then we move on. Yes.
To me, self-awareness is know what makes you different from others. Know what makes you different from others.
Well, not exactly. You're right, but it's knowing what makes you you. Don't bother about others at that stage. Yeah. But yes, you definitely have an understanding. So there's no point giving definition. We've all defined it in different ways, and I believe we all got it, right? Okay, so now that we've spoken about the power of self-awareness, let's talk about the concept of a fresh start. Everyone wants a fresh start, right? Everyone, we all aspire to do something differently at different times. But guess what? Sometimes, and I believe it was the man who spoke about the brand, he had said, oh, the year is over. But I was going to say to him, in our industry, this is our Christmas season. The ember months are where we're super excited about. So it's reverse for us. But I hear him when he says, you lose touch of time if you keep procrastinating. When do I start? How do I start? Just start. And so what I would like to say is that everybody wants a fresh start. You want to make changes to your life. You want to do this every time you plan to do it, but you never get to do it. And so how do we propel ourselves to that point of saying, you know what, it is time for me to not let my past mistakes, to not let my past experiences define who I am today and move on from it. And so most times we do not realize, but we all need an activity to set us in the right path. And I believe that the psychologists term it temporal time frame, or temporal changes, or temporal times, which means, and I think it resonates with a lot of us, every new year, we're all making plans. We're saying, this year, this is what I want to do. Every new year, I tell myself, I want to lose so number of kg before it's my birthday. But guess what? I'm still where I am, right? And I know a lot of us can relate to it. For some of us, it is every time it's my birthday. For some of us, it is every time you see somebody doing something. It's just that activity that makes us recommit to ourselves to want to do things. Can we relate to that? Some of us started our businesses on a particular day. It may have been, oh, I'm about to turn 21. It's time for me to do something different. Does anybody have that experience? Do you want to share? Do you have it? Do we not have it? Do we not? Nobody, everybody? Anybody? But we're all entrepreneurs. Okay, let me ask in reverse. Who wants to talk to me about the day they decided to go into the industry of play they're in, or when they started their business? Who wants to talk to us about it? Yes, please.
Let me start. I prefer to start. You know, I studied food science and nutrition in high institution, and I've always wanted to work in the food industry, but it wasn't forthcoming. In fact, preferably, I wanted to work as a quality control. So, a quality control personnel. It wasn't coming, and I have another passion for cooking, anything cooking. Yes. So, my sister, my younger sister, our last one, got a job as an event planner. And not just an event planner, she has to coordinate all the vendors. I just decided I'm going to start up my own catering services, while my sister will be my first employer to be hiring me. So from then, and I'm good at what I do. Anytime she has, she's in need of a caterer for packaged foods, she'll give it to me. And I started making it from there. Others, even the event that supply food to, the person, the owner of the event will even call me personally because of my sticker and my phone number on it. Call me directly to supply the next time. So that was just what made me to start. Okay, see, my sister has gotten an opportunity, and it's going to pave way for me. So I started from there. And again, I started another thing. This profession is like this. I am in two professions, catering and painting. I'm a painter. Now, I just like it when I see people painting houses, especially on the height. So I fell in love with it so much that I feel like it's a fun for me. I went for a professional training in painting because I just love it. Okay, cooking is a passion, but painting is fun for me. So I do these things. You see the events that made me now. I just saw people. Look at it. It was a man, not even a lady. I just like it that someone is on the heights painting building. So I love it. I ventured into it.
Awesome. So, do you paint buildings? Do you like climb the what's it called now? Those scaffold. Do you climb it?
Yes.
I am honored to be in your presence. I do not believe that I have met a female house painter before. I have heard of them. I have seen them online, but this is my first. Awesome. But I mean, we can all tell that she's very passionate about what she's talking about. We can see the passion in her. And honestly, I see your hand, please. Just 1 minute, I will get to you. And honestly, you can tell that from the moment she was in that space where she had that incident occur and she made up her mind, why can't I do this? I want to do this. She had already set for herself a target. I want to be the best. So good that my sister will have no choice but to become a vendor for me. So well done. Awesome. Yes, please.
My name is Ogeleka. I'm from Sokoto State. I come to Lagos May 24th. May. Okay.
Don't worry, I'm coming to you. I can hardly hear you, so I will just give you the mic to ensure we all hear you.
My name is Taudatu Ali Kware. I'm from Sokoto State. I come from a community that I'm limited, and God gave me the opportunity to have a big dream. I don't know where and how to start. I was limited. I was not allowed to do anything. Any business that I started, they will stop me. Every opportunity that I want to do, they will stop me. From my parents, my family, everyone in my community. I focus online, coaching business women online to get money, to support myself and my dream. I close my eyes. I said, I'll do it. I come out from the north. I come to Lagos. I apply for Miss Grand Nigeria 2024. 31st of January, that's why I registered for Miss Grand Nigeria. On 24th May 2024, I come to Lagos and I see that this is where I belong to. This is where I am meant to. I see millions of opportunities waiting for me. I was caged, limited. Now I want to focus. After my pageantry, I closed at top 7. Wow. Then
we're in front of a queen.
I decided to go further into fashion and commercial modeling, and I work as a real estate agent with a company. So that is my breakthrough. That is my dream. Last year by this time, I have never imagined I would be in this Lagos by this time. But I'm
Nice. That is very inspiring. You said you came to Lagos in May. And Are you doing what it is you want to do? Right now, you finished your beauty pageant. Today is a day of honors for me. First, I see a female house painter. Now I'm in front of a queen. A beauty pageant queen. Awesome. So are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Are you doing what it is you really want to do?
Still figuring it out.
You're still figuring it out. Hey, take your time. No pressures. But trust me, do not believe that, again, going back to what I said, do not let your past define you. So do not think that because you have always, been in a community that is very restrictive, that you are continually restricted. So determine what it is you want to do, and you're in a community of friends. I'm certain that somehow, somewhere, we can all figure it out together. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. A round of applause for her, please. Okay, so now that we all agree that a particular incident gets us to rethink our lives, rethink what it is we want to do, the next thing is we begin to endow our future selves with the most positive values that we want to achieve, which is very clear from the experiences that have been shared. So the minute you said, I want to start running this business, you already plan for your future self to say, no, I have to be the best at what I do. I want to do this, I want to do that. All of that endowment that you do so much in the space propels you to want to become that version of your future self that you are aspiring to deliver on. Do we agree? So what actions do we need to take to deliver on this aspiration? We need to promote achievable goals. And a couple of people have said tons of things around setting your goals. I'm sure we all know about SMART. Your goals have to be SMART. Never lose sight of that. Your goals have to be SMART. But they also have to be achievable. So a house painter, for instance, maybe she's just starting off. There's no point saying, in the next 2 months, I want to start painting an entire estate. That's not realistic, right? But she could say, you know what, in the next 2 months, I should have painted at least 2 to 3 houses. Set achievable goals so that you do not disappoint yourself. It's just like a graphic artist who says, I want to be the best in my field, and then says, I must take 6 courses in 1 month. For such an artistic role, is that achievable? So you need to learn to space yourself out when you're setting your goals. You also need to ensure that there's beneficial alignment between your goal setting and your actual achievement. Don't set goals that you know you cannot achieve. They're dead on arrival. So there has to be a connection at all times. Ensure you have the right support and resources to deliver. I believe it was the mentor who said, don't just say because you hear brand, and then you take all your budgets and then you pump everything into brand. Look at your resources. Plan according to your resources. Ensure that you have what you need to be able to deliver on the goals that you are setting. Allow timely, transparent, and honest evaluation of your progress. Don't be so hard on yourself. Do not say, I want to start a business today and in the next 1 week, I should be the best in the industry. Guess what? There have been people in that industry for years and they're not the best yet. I'm not saying it's not possible, but just ensure that you give yourself ample time to check your progress and evaluate what can you do differently, how do you do things differently, just to be able to ensure that, you're not disappointing yourself. Be patient. Avoid overwhelming yourself. That is very important. What I say to my team is always find a rhythm only you can dance to. Does that make sense to us? So not everybody's a fantastic dancer, right? So maybe R&B is your thing where you can just sway and you're a perfect dancer. Don't start doing the leg walks. Nah, that's not for you. So see why you need to know yourself, understand yourself, and then find the space where you can shine. I think one of the speakers had mentioned, don't just go with the crowd. Yeah, this is it. Don't just go with the crowd. Don't say, oh, because my friend is... So a female here says, oh, because she paints, I should be able to paint. Is that what you want? Does that sit well with you, your personality, and your personal goals? So always be able to identify that. And then I would like to leave a set of parting words. I know that I had spoken a lot about the self, but I would love to end with this statement. Never take the concept of the team for granted, because it is important. You shouldn't expect them to succeed if you can't offer them any kind of direction. That's where your personal clarity comes in. Never take the concept of the team for granted. You shouldn't expect them to succeed if you can't offer them any kind of direction. Successes are always the result of the team effort. If this event goes well, it is the team, right? But failure usually stems from the top. It is critical as a leader to identify what could have caused the failure, why it wasn't recognized prior, and how to resolve it moving forward. Did we get that? The problem is you want to write it. But I advise that you listen and understand it. So what I was saying is we've spoken a lot about you, yourself, self-awareness and all of that. But I'm ending by saying that in the midst of all this, me knowing who I am and what it is I want to do, and just setting that clarity internally, is also not to ignore the fact that you're not an island. You have a team. Your team may not be direct employees or direct employers, but you cannot work in a vacuum, right? So never ignore the fact that there's power in being in a great team. And then if you're fortunate enough to lead that team, know that if the team is successful, whatever your projects are, if they're successful, the team has done well. But if it fails, the leader has not done well. Because as the leader, you should have piloted the entire program differently. You should have spotted what the likely challenges may be and tried to sway the team from committing the errors that led to the failure. Now do you get it? Because you're not trying to write it. Awesome. And with that, I believe that I have come to the end of my conversation. And I'm more than happy to take questions.
It's a personal question I want to raise. As a manager that you had, not just about products, not about company, like you as a person, you manage people, you manage products. How easy is it? Because there's this thing that when you are managing, you made mention of making your team members comfortable. There are some bosses or managers that don't know that the people under them are not even, like, there's this attack when you're coming to work, that, hey God. But the person they're even afraid of does not know. She believes, oh, I'm good with them, I tell them what to do, I'm not harsh. But how do you manage this as a person? There's also one thing I want to ask her. Okay, how do you make sure your teammates or team members bring out the best? Because yes, everybody does not have the same thing. There's this, what this particular person is good with. And I believe you as the head knows this. But how do you make it easy for them to work together so you can achieve the goal as a team?
Right. Very clear. You know, I just want to say that I think it is almost impossible to use the word manager and easy or simple in the same sentence, because there's nothing easy or simple about being a manager, especially a manager of people. It is not easy. But what I have learned is, first, understand yourself. And know that before being a manager, you are first and foremost a person. Do you have to be nice to your team because you're a manager? No. Personally, I believe you have to be nice because it's the humane thing to do. Do you always have the same quality or temperament of team members? The answer is no. I can tell you that the QSR industry is one of the industry, and that's quick service restaurants, is one of the industries with the highest turnover rate ever. There are some that you will fire. There are some that will fire themselves. And there are some you will be begging to please let me fire you. No jokes. It is a very difficult industry to work in. So I recently had my HR manager, she's relatively new in the business, and she came from a different industry. And when she came, she attended a meeting where I started off, nice and calm because it was excos. And then we moved to another meeting with the team members at the store, and she saw the switch. And she said, Mama, why are you shouting so much? I said, I give you 2 weeks, you will join me. Today, she shouts more than I do when she's talking to the caliber people. So what am I trying to say is understanding who you're talking to, understanding who you're dealing with. Different people require different treatments. Even at the same cater, I have restaurant managers that I know that I can sit them down and speak strategy with them. I have restaurant managers that I know that I literally would have to break it down and spell it out, and they still won't get it till I send an email and have it documented. But this stems from knowing your people. As a manager, as a business leader, you cannot know your people if you do not mingle with them. And honestly, I think that it is now a part of me. And that's why when Kish was trying to bring me forward, I refused. I wanted to see the people that I will be speaking with. So I sat in the middle. I think that as leaders, we need to ensure that we know our people, we understand our people. It is not an easy job. And so even when you think you're approachable, I assure you, some people are still going to find you unapproachable. I have had some of my ESCOs say they're afraid of me. And the first time I got the feedback, I called them and I said, are you really sure you are afraid of me? Or you are afraid of what you have not been able to deliver on that you know I will ask you? So sometimes it's a mix-up of the person and what is required from them. So you may not necessarily be scared of that boss, but you're scared of the fact that you may be found wanting on the job. So I'd say even as people, let's try and separate it as best as we can. Because oftentimes I've realized that happens a lot. And then the second question was about, please help me out here, or have I answered it? Work together. Oh, that is a challenge. Goodness. That is a very, very big challenge, but it is something that can be accomplished, right? Not to sound like a broken record, repeating myself, but it would pretty much be hinged on understanding your team. I have team members that I know would only do the right thing because it's in my face. And the minute I turn, they're done. So if I have to put together a task force to do something, I'm not going to put that person as the head, right? I'm going to put that person as like maybe a committee member or secretary or something, because I know those are the ones that will come report to me when there's a problem. But they're not going to take the lead and do the job when it's required unless I'm there. So it's understanding your people, understanding their chemistry, and ensuring when you're doing the chemistry test and pouring the chemicals together, that the reaction is what it is that you want.